The Amazing Spider-Man 1 is the best Spider-Man movie. Intro. What's up, people? What's up? This is one of the N.HIDDEN Legend, and I'm back again with another cool video for you guys to watch and tune in. And for today's video, I want to talk about Amazing Spider-Man, and I want to explain why this is the best Spider-Man movie. Forget about Tobey Maguire, just clear out. I'm going to explain why. And if you want to know, stay tuned. And also, before I start, don't come up to me talking about Amazing Spider-Man 2 and say how bad it was from the other Spider-Man movies, because I'm not talking about Amazing Spider-Man 2. I said 1. I didn't say 2. Let me just get that out of the way. Just get out of my mind now. So, obviously, to begin with, I want to give a shout out to Andrew Garfield, because he done a great job. Spider-Man as a character is a hard character to portray. You know, Spider-Man has a split personality, I would say. You know, there's a nerdy side, the geeky side, and then there's the cocky kind of like cool side, and that's one thing that is hard to pull off. And Andrew Garfield for the first one does that really well, and you know, I salute him for it. And yep, I mean, I think he deserves more credit for him playing Spider-Man, because people they're so hard on Amazing Spider-Man 1. Like, what is so bad about the movie? I don't understand. Like, so many people are so hard on this movie. And I just thought, you know what, let me just make this video and just explain why the first one is the best. Better than Spider-Man 1, 2, 3, Homecoming, Far From Home. Yeah, I said it. Better than 1, 2, 3, Homecoming and Far From Home. And I'm explaining why. So yeah, so shout out to Andrew Garfield. So this movie came out in 2012, about 7 years ago. And when it came out, it was hype. You know, I remember watching the cinemas and I'm so, you know, excited. And yeah, I'm give reasons, many reasons why it's better. So let's get straight into it. It had a different version of Spider-Man. It portrayed a more gory, dark version of Spider-Man. That's the first reason why. I'm sure we've all seen the original Spider-Man, the Tobey Maguire one, and it was great. It was good. Don't get me wrong. I still like it to this day. But the main problem, I kind of feel like it was too corny. Because after a while, if you look back, because it came out in 2002, over 10 years ago, over 15 years ago, basically. And even though it came out, you know, I won't say it's the best Spider-Man, because still had that corny energy, you know. Most scenes weren't that serious. But what Amazing Spider-Man 1 does, it gives us a different version of Peter Parker and Spider-Man. And, excuse me guys. In Spider-Man 1, we see Peter Parker as this geek. Yeah, he's supposed to be a geek. He's supposed to be nerdy. But, you know, and we see Spider-Man 2 as well. I mean, Spider-Man as well. And he's seen, you know, not that much cocky. He doesn't really say too much, but we see that. But with Amazing Spider-Man 1, instead of just copying exactly what they had with Spider-Man 1, they made it into a more, you know, enjoyable but at the same time dark. Because the thing with movies, you always have to be different. You can't just repeat the same thing over and over again. And that's what Amazing Spider-Man 1 does. It doesn't continue what the Sam Raimi version had. It just recreates and makes it more different. And I kind of feel like that's what makes this one unique from the other ones. It doesn't present Peter Parker as just this geek. Come on. Like, imagine Peter Parker, he shouldn't just, how can you legit see a geek wearing a costume and being Spider-Man? Like, what? What the Amazing Spider-Man 1 does, instead of just making him a complete geek, he has some coolness to him. And that's what every teenager has, some coolness. And that's what I love about, you know, Amazing Spider-Man 1. It doesn't just make Peter Parker this complete loser. It makes him have some coolness and some, you know, energy, because he still is ordinary at the beginning, and with that they give him like that coolness, and that's one thing. So this version is more dark and gory with, you know, Spider-Man and how he made his suit and his motivation to become Spider-Man. In the other one, it followed too much of the, you know, origin story, and I kind of feel like it failed as a, you know, as a proper movie. Second, the suit. The suit was amazing, like Amazing Spider-Man. The suit it wasn't classy, it wasn't too high tech like the Tom Holland one, which I get to later. It was just right. I kind of feel like they got it right this time. The sunglasses, the boots, I kind of feel like they got it right this time. You know, Spider-Man's suit doesn't particularly have to be the white eyes, because the thing that this movie has is realistic. It's not fake. We all know it's fake, but at least we have a mindset that is realistic. It doesn't have the white eyes of the small spider. I mean, that's a bit too, you know, it's fake. But with this one, it actually makes it look real. The sunglasses and everything, and I salute the movie for doing that. And that's why I'm going to say this. The Amazing Spider-Man 1 was the best Spider-Man movie. It was realistic with the suit, and I had a different version of who Spider-Man / Peter Parker is, instead of having that geekiness and, you know, same old. I had a different view of Spider-Man as a character. Number 4, the fight scenes. The fight scenes were lit. The first one was, you know, Peter Parker and Flash Thompson in high school. I like that because this Peter Parker in high school, he's more realistic as well. I mean, talking about high school, the thing about Spider-Man 1 is that you can easily tell that these guys are over the age of 18. But with Amazing Spider-Man 1, you can actually tell they're teenagers. Like, if you just look at them, they look like teenagers. And that's one thing that this movie does really well. I mean, it's not as great as the Tom Holland one. The high school was great, but I say this one's more realistic. It's not too sunny. And sometimes, this is from obviously my experience. Sometimes you will have your dark days. Not every day is going to be the best. Sometimes you will have your dark moments. And this is what the Amazing Spider-Man has. It shows that you won't always be happy. You have your dark times. And this is what this movie has with, you know, the high school. But onto the fight scenes. The fight scenes were great, and I enjoyed them. And yeah, the fight scenes were great. And the villain. The Lizard is one of my favorite Spider-Man villains of all time in movie. I think the top one has to be Venom. Top one's Venom. But the Lizard has to be my second. The Lizard was lit in this movie. For real talk. The Lizard was great. I enjoyed the villain. And, you know, I just wish that they continued with this Amazing Spider-Man. Because they kind of left it like, they kind of feel like the movie wasn't great because they listened too much of the criticism. And that's the problem. I don't understand why so many people are so hard on this movie. This movie is great. It shows a different version of Spider-Man and Peter Parker. The suit is lit. The fight scenes are lit. Peter Parker in high school is lit. And the villain is lit. I don't understand why people, they forget about this movie so much. This movie was really good. And again, instead of having this happy, you know, Peter Parker just walking down, you know, smiling, instead of copying what Sam Raimi done in Spider-Man 1, 2, and 3, they made it into their own version. Peter Parker doesn't have to be this geeky dude. He can be this cool guy in a skateboard. Why not? He still wore glasses. I said the only thing that they messed up was sort of the parents' origin. They kind of, in the second one, they kind of messed up a little bit. But that's the only thing I could say I had a problem with. The rest is fine. And the most important reason why this is the best Spider-Man movie is because of the independence. The Independence was great. The Independence is great. I love the independence of this amazing Spider-Man. Spider-Man is like, he turns into like someone like Bruce Wayne. And I can see this in Spider-Man. You know, he doesn't have Iron Man. I mean, don't get me wrong, Spider-Man 1, the Sam Raimi one, you know, it had independence, but this one had way more independence. He got shot, the things he went through with his uncle, you know, I kind of feel like this one had me. And again, it portrays the gang life. And that's one thing I want to talk about too. I've spoken a lot of things about gangs in my videos, but this one I want to speak particularly on Amazing Spider-Man. The main reason is not because of his independence, it's because I like the way they presented Peter Parker. Peter Parker is brave. He stands up for himself. He stands up for the fact that his uncle is dead. You know? He goes out there and he actually makes a beginning for himself. And I feel like if they actually were serious with this Andrew Garfield as being his Peter Parker was actually going to end up being someone like Tony Stark. He can end up starting something of himself. But unfortunately, we had what we had. You know, they had to, you know, fire on Andrew Garfield and pick Tom Holland. Guys, this is not me hating on Tobey Maguire and Tom Holland. I just want to share this with you guys. Amazing Spider-Man 1 is the best Spider-Man movie. It has a different version of Peter Parker we've never seen before. The suit's great. And I just salute this. You know, the thing about me is that I'm always going to do what other people do. Like, particular people just follow things because others are doing it. When I look at something for what it is. I don't look at something through someone else's eyes. And that's something that I have. I'm looking at this movie as the best Spider-Man movie. It was different, it was fresh, it wasn't trying to mimic all these other ones. And that's why I say this one's the best one. So in closing, I hope you guys now understand why The Amazing Spider-Man 1 is the best Spider-Man movie. Let me go through the things. Different version of Spider-Man. The suit. Fight scenes. The lizard. The villain. The independence. And the fact that, you know, it's centered around, you know, who's the coolest guy. You know, the gang life. And that's one thing I love about this Amazing Spider-Man. And, you know, it's a masterpiece in my eyes. And I'm just seeing this movie for what it is. So for that being said, this is your boy, N.HIDDEN legend. And I'm out in this video. And The Amazing Spider-Man 1 is the best. And, you know, I might do a Halloween dance cover. I will dance the scenario, don't worry. Fortnite dunks, and yeah. More content is coming on The Hidden Legend. You guys be cool. Peace. The Amazing Spider-Man 1 is the best Spider-Man movie, hands down.